Today I'm standing in Grapevine, Texas, down here for a pastor's conference, and I was getting ready to preach this message, and the parable of the mustard seed came up in my study, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what the mustard seed's all about. I came to a nursery here just outside of Grapevine, and I got mustard seeds, and I'll pour them out in my hand. I'll show them to you. They are among the smallest seeds that are really available. They're tiny little round pellets. Pretty amazing when you think about what a mustard seed is. And it reminds me of this passage from Matthew chapter 13 verse 31. This is what Jesus said about the mustard seed. He said, then he told them another parable. He said, the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed which a man took and planted in his field. And though it is the smallest of all your seeds, yet when it grows, he said, this is what the kingdom of God is like. When it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and perch in its branches. That little seed that I just showed you can turn into one of those. In fact, a mustard tree looks a lot like that tree right there. Most of them are indigenous to the Middle East. We'll talk a little bit about mustard seed faith. You know, Texas is kind of pretty this time of year. I hate to say anything nice about Texas, but this is a pretty setting. I look at this tree over the water, and this tree that looks a lot like a biblical mustard tree reminds me of this other thing that Jesus said about a mustard seed, mustard tree. It's in Matthew chapter 17 verses 19 through 21. It's the story of the disciples. They're trying to do what Jesus was doing. They're trying to cast out a demon, and they couldn't do it. And they came back to the Lord. It says they came back to the Lord privately and asked, why couldn't we drive it out? And he replied, because you have so little faith. He says, I tell you the truth, that if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, and I just showed them to you, those little round pellets, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. You think, a little bit of faith, the kingdom of God, you can go from something really small into something really big. And our faith, if we just have a little bit of faith, it could become something incredibly great, and it can do immeasurably more than we ever thought it could do. I want you to think about that in the context of your own life this week, in your faith. If you just have a little bit of faith, God's going to do amazing things.